Pray that you listen to the word.
But God, please use me on this day. God, stand in my body. Lord, teach with my tongue. Have your way in this place. Allow souls to be saved, lives to be changed, and shackles to fall, generational curses to be broken. I stand with the great authority that you've given me, and I say that this word shall go forth and accomplish just what you said it shall. So God, I honor you. God, I bless you, and I give your name the praise, the glory, and the honor. In Jesus' name, amen. And it reads, and he arose that night and took his 2 wives and his 2 servants and his 11 sons and crossed over the ford to Jac. He took them, sent them over the brook, and sent over what he had. Then Jacob was left alone. Has anybody ever been in a place where they feel like they've been left alone? And a man wrestled with him until the daybreak. Now when he saw that he could not prevail against him, he touched the socket of his hip as a joint. The socket of Jacob's hip was out of joint. He wrestled with him, and he said, let me go, for the day breaks. But he said, I will not let you go until you bless me. So he said to him, what is your name? He said, Jacob. And he said, your name shall no longer be called Jacob, but Israel. For you have struggled with God and with men and have prevailed. And then Jacob asked, saying, tell me your name, I pray. He said, what is it that you ask about my name? And he blessed him there. So Jacob called the name of the place Peniel, for I have seen God face to face, and my life is preserved. Just as he crossed over the Peniel, the sun rose on him, and he limped on his hip. I want to talk to you about wrestling with something today. Youth in this generation trying to live a sold out life, we wrestle with a lot of things. We wrestle with trying to stay in the right position with God. We wrestle with trying not to sway and to be gray. But I come to tell you that the struggle is over. Because God is changing your name. God is leaving a mark on you that man won't be able to say, I put you here, but it will just be God. It will just be God. So the first point that I have is leave every distraction behind. In verse 23 and 24, it reads, he took them, sent them over the brook, and sent over what he had. Then Jacob was left alone, and a man wrestled with him until the day of break. Jacob left behind everything that would hinder his focus. We, as a people of God, as children of God, have to leave behind everything that will hinder our focus. If that means turning off the phone for maybe an hour, we have to leave behind the things that will hinder our focus. If that means leaving the boyfriend or the girlfriend or the friends, we have to leave anyone or anything that will hinder our focus. We have to leave every distraction behind. And Jacob understood that. It's almost if he already knew, I'm about to step into something that's going to change my life, but in order for me to get it, my mind has to be locked on Jesus. So I'm going to leave every distraction behind. Second, don't fear the mark of Christ on your life. A very popular verse by Paul in 2 Corinthians 12, 7 through 10 says, to keep me from becoming conceited, because of the surpassingly great revelations that was given to me, a thorn in my flesh, a messenger of Satan to torment me. 3 times I pleaded with the Lord to take it away from me, but he said, my grace is sufficient, and my power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore I will boast all the more gladly about my weakness, so that Christ's power may rest on me. This is why for Christ's sake I delight in weakness and insults and hardships and persecutions and difficulties. For when I am weak, then I am strong. One thing that we as Christians have messed up in is when something happens, we're very quick to complain. But Paul always said, I'm going to rejoice. Though trials may be great, I'm going to rejoice. Because all the trials is doing is letting me know that there's a mark of Christ on my life. There is something that God is about to do. So I'm going to rejoice, because when I am weak, God is is made strong. In my weakness, God is made strong. So don't fear the mark of Christ on your life. That thing that you keep pleading with God with, that you cry at night and you keep saying, God, take it away. God is saying, I'm not going to take it away, because that's the very thing that's keeping you coming to my presence. That's the very thing that's causing you to push. No, I'm not going to take it away. I'm going to keep it there, and you're going to continue to bless me. Do not fear the mark of Christ on your life. The third point is, don't be concerned with the methods, people, or answers to how God will bless you. And verse 29, then Jacob asked, saying, tell me your name, I pray. We ask God a lot of unnecessary questions. It does not matter how God is going to get you to where he was going to get you. If he said he was going to do it, trust him, because he will do it. If God said, I'll use you to minister to many, and you're ministering at a church where there might only be 5 people, you better bless God for those 5 people, because God is going to multiply them. So stop worrying about how God is going to get you here and get you there. My senior year, my mother had me when she was 19. So I'm coming out of a broken home because my father is not there. And I just had this peace that, God, you said you were going to move in my life. So wherever you want me to go to school, I'll go. So I get 2 letters. One letter from Virginia State, one letter from Chowan University. And I kept hearing God say Chowan. But I looked at the statement, and Chowan said 32,000, and my bank account said 0. So I said, God, you're going to have to make a way. Virginia State was cheaper. So I called Chowan. I said, I'm not coming. And I accepted Virginia State, and I was preparing to go. And God said, I told you where you need to be. And I told my mom and I told my family, and they're like, are you sure? Is God really speaking to you? Is this where you need to be? This is a lot of money. We don't know how we're going to do it. But I followed God. I was not concerned with the money, because if God said that's where he wanted me to be, then he was going to make a way. So I stand here as a sophomore at Chowan University with my tuition all the way paid. All the way paid. Because God is able. And I was not concerned with how God was going to do it, but he did it. So it's an encouragement, because when you're not concerned and when you step out on faith, you allow people to see that God is able. God said, I'm able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that you could ever ask or think. So me stepping out on faith and coming to Jawan not only blessed me, but it blessed my mother, because she started stepping out on faith. My mama said, I'm going to go get my master's degree. If Takiya can do it, I can do it. So we stepping. And we got under and said, well, if she can step, then I can step. So when you step, not only are you stepping for yourself, but you're stepping for your neighbor. You're stepping for your family. Everything is not for you to know. God let me know a long time ago. We always ask God, well, God, I don't understand. Why is this happening to me? Why are all these tribulations and trials coming? Everything is not for you to know. Everything that I've seen in my home, everything that I've been through has made me the strong woman of God that I am today. So when I come into the house of the Lord, you don't have to pump me, you don't have to press me, you don't have to pry me, because I know that God is able to do exceedingly, abundantly, above all that I could ever ask or think. So when you're going through the situations and you're going through the trial, instead of complaining, why don't you just learn to bless God? Imagine how mad the enemy will be if you get a letter in the mail that says, I'm about to repo your car, and you say, God, even in the midst of this, I'll bless you. Even in the midst of this, I'll bless you. Even in the midst of this, I'll bless you. Thank you on every side. I'll bless you. Praise on every side. God, you're worthy. You're worthy. And I will bless you. My last point. Jesus. Growing up, they prophesied to me, and I was very different from what I am now. I had a bit of a mouth on me, so growing up, I would be in church, and I would just sit there, and people would say, you're going to be a great woman of God. And I would just look back like they were talking to somebody else, because I didn't know what they were talking about, and one man said, God said, I'm going to change your name to Victory. So my last point is, accept your new name and identity and walk in it. Jacob, when he was born, God gave his mother a prophecy, because she had 2 babies in her womb, and they were wrestling. So Jacob's whole life has been a wrestle. This wrestle that he had with God, this was not the first time he wrestled. So this was not the first time that God brought him out of a situation in which he was wrestling. So when you face a situation and you know God, you just say, God, if you brought me through this, you can bring me through that. This was not the first time he wrestled with something. This will not be the last time that you have wrestled with something, that you will wrestle with something. So instead of complaining in the wrestle, just learn to bless God. Because Jacob, his name meant trickster. It meant he who takes the heel. It meant cheater. But God understood, I have a purpose for you. He told his mother God told his mother before Jacob was even born, the younger one will lead the older. Now, as him coming out, he was Jacob, so it didn't seem like it was real. But after he wrestled with God, God said, I've changed your name to Israel. Because you have a purpose on your life. So no longer can you walk in them calling you a liar because you're not a liar anymore. No longer can you walk in them calling you that person that failed or had a child out of wedlock, because that's just not who you are anymore. God says, today I am changing your name to victory. Every generational curse will be broken off of your life. I am changing your name to victory. God will do it. You just have to believe him. But I thank God that he said, I will complete the work that I have begun in you. So this is not only just the beginning for Impact, but this is just the beginning for you. God said, I've called you for such a time as this, to go out to the world and declare great things. So this is just the beginning.
Lord, I'm splitting two. Part of me loves the world and the other loves you. So what do? I wanna be saved, but I gotta stay cool too. And no, I'm not a fool. I know eventually I'm gonna have to choose. And really, I don't wanna lose my ticket into heaven and a chance to be you.